Hey, everybody. On tomorrow's episode of the Data Over Dogma podcast, we're going to be talking about abortion and the Bible. Wanted to give you a little peek.
And so it says, and when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, the babe leapt in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Ghost. So it seems to be indicating that that not only was Elizabeth happy about Mary's news, but also Elizabeth's baby was pretty stoked. Was jumping around for joy.
Yeah, which raises a bunch of questions.
Yeah, it does.
And I'll start by saying that even if we accepted this as indicating the personhood of John the Baptist, it is a post-quickening personhood. It is not John leaping prior to his ability to move within the womb. So it would not establish that this personhood extends all the way back to conception. To get to that, we have to cross these questions, which I think are very problematic. One being, if this is supposed to be generalizable to all humanity, every fetus, is the suggestion really that fetuses, one, can recognize the voices of others outside the womb whom they have never heard before? And two, this means that the fetal John not only knows whose voice that is, but who they're carrying in their womb and the mission and the identity of that entity being carried in that individual's womb. That is not an attribution of kind of natural cognition to a fetus. That is supernatural cognition, which brings up the point that earlier in this chapter, we have another identification of John as an exception to the rule, because it says he will be filled with the Spirit even before he is born, which is foreshadowing this leaping in the womb, which obviously is a product of the machinations of the Spirit. And so basically this text is stating the Spirit made John leap in the womb, and that is unlike every other human that has ever existed. So
well, there's another way of looking at it too, which is just that Elizabeth was so excited that her, whatever was happening inside of her made her
some hormones or something. Galvanize this reaction. That's another way to look at it. The notion that the author here is suggesting that full personhood is attributable to a fetus in the womb is not demonstrated. But even if we accepted the argument, which again is taking an exception to the rule and trying to turn it into the rule,
right,
it still would only establish personhood with a fully formed fetus that could move in the womb. In other words, a post-quickening personhood. And so the notion that this extends that personhood back to the moment of conception is not in evidence at all.